So there's a new commission being proposed for the Parliament in which an independent commission will make recommendations to a committee of senior politicians in terms of sanctions for poor behaviour within the Parliament workplace. Is it a good idea to ultimately leave it up to what's called the Privileges Committee, the politicians, to impose those sanctions, or should it be independent of politicians, that process?
I think that's an interesting discussion we're having in a whole lot of different sectors about who has oversight and who can whether it needs to be independent. With regard to this, as you've said, it's new and I can't comment on the detail of it. What I would say is two things. One, every workplace is responsible for keeping itself safe and putting in place systems to make sure that it is safe for everybody who is in that workplace. And many workplaces around the country are thinking about how they do that. We'll need to watch this one and see whether it's effective and whether it does change those levels of safety.
Karen Middleton.
Hello, Commissioner. Thank you for your address. Karen Middleton from The Guardian, Australia. You spoke about the weaponisation of systems and how they're being used primarily against women. And I wanted to ask you about a specific example of that. It's been raised by the Economic Inclusion Advisory Committee, the government-appointed committee headed by Jenny Macklin that's made a report to government the last couple of years. One specific example they gave in that report twice now was on the intersection between child support and family tax benefits and how ex-partners were manipulating the timing and amounts of their payments to rob single mothers primarily of the full amount of family tax benefit. But it also found that that the system was structured badly for those women, that there is a requirement for the women receiving family tax benefit to first claim the child support from the ex-partner before they can get the family tax benefit. There's an exemption for women who are experiencing violence, but the definition is difficult and a lot of women are not meeting the test. So they're being required to contact their ex-partners, sometimes in a situation where there's been financial loss. And the report has found that this is perpetuating violence against women. Now, as I understand it, nothing's been done about that yet. I would have thought, given there have been 2 warnings about it, that there was an obligation on government to do something. Can you speak to that specific example, what you think about that, and whether we need a comprehensive audit of all government support payments and the accountability systems in them to ensure they are not making the circumstances of women worse?
So you've described that example very well, so I don't need to go into more detail, and you're quite right. And it's a very good example of breaking down where the detail of how systems that you would never occur to most people, that they could be weaponised and cause harm. And I think one of the things that we have seen and heard at the Commission is the way many systems are weaponised in that way. I am aware that work is underway to do the kind of audit broadly across systems, to government systems, to make sure that government is thinking about how those things can and are causing harm. So I'm aware that work is underway and we will be keeping an eye on that.
Ashley Ecker.